Now this video is all about our side-to-side band movement. Now I'm going to work with two bands with a different resistance, and that's quite a good way to work because when you look at the action of this side-to-side movement, you've got a pulling and a pushing action with the upper body. Now when you use a pulling action, it's a slightly stronger body action. So you can use a slightly heavier resistance. When you're doing a pushing action, it's a slightly weaker body action, so you use a slightly lighter band for that resistance. Don't worry if you've got two bands the same resistance, just use the same bands, it's absolutely fine. Just be conscious that one arm may fatigue a little bit more quickly than the other one, and that's fine, you just stop using that arm at that point. It's really important when you've got your bands fixed to your attachment site that the bands are in front of your body. Yep, so you don't want to be directly in line with your bands, you've got them slightly in front of you. So I'm going to put my lighter band into my left hand, which is my pushing hand, and I'm going to put my heavier band into my right hand, which is my pulling hand. Yep. But to begin with, I'm just going to hold the bands together and just hold the arms pretty still and just start my side-to-side leg action. Now the leg action, you've got the legs quite wide, and we're going to switch now to a side view, and you should be able to see that I've got my legs in a wide position. Now when your legs are wide, your core muscles are going to have to work a little bit harder to control and stabilize. So to actually feel your pelvic floor in this position is much harder than if your feet are narrower, or if you're working with blocks between your knees or something like that. So be conscious and aware of the fact that this is harder for your core to stabilize. That can mean that you could, in this position, feel a bit of back pain, feel a bit of instability. You may feel a little bit of discomfort around the symphysis pubis area. If you feel anything like that, modify your position, bring your legs in, and work with a narrower position until that discomfort or that feeling of pain goes away. If you're still feeling pain, then stop the movement and let us know, but there are also other adaptations that you can use as well for these moves. And it might be, for example, that you have to grab a ball or some blocks or a towel, put it between your moves, between your knees, and just use a very, very small side-to-side action, and then just focus more on the upper body. So do adapt and be aware that if this causes pain, you need to stop and adjust your movement. Bring your feet in, work narrower. If you still feel pain, put something between your knees, like a cushion or some blocks, and that will help you to stabilize and enable you to use your pelvic floor more easily. So as long as you're pain-free, you can take the knees wider apart, legs wider apart, and I'm starting now to pull the band across. I'm pulling the band across, but the hands are together, so it's not too hard on my arms, and my arms are very close to my body, so there's not too much strain or stress on the core area, so I'm not having to actually support the bands in a further away position. The longer your levers are, then the harder it is. Yep, so I'm keeping my levers nice and short. So as I move side to side, I'm feeling a pull though on my abdomen on the left hand side. Now these are the waist muscles kicking in. They're called the obliques, and I can feel that as I pull across, and you will be able to feel that too. So the resistance of the band is making those muscles kick in, and they're feeling it. Yep, now that's all good. But you have to feel your deeper core muscles underneath that feeling there on the side. So I want you to stop a fart, stop a wee, pull up through your deeper abdominal muscles and try to connect to a greater feeling coming across your tummy, a drawing in, a pulling in, and a supportive feeling across the whole of your abdomen. And that's really important. If you can't feel that, you can just drop one band and work with one. That's absolutely fine, or just use a lighter resistance. Yep. So just be careful that you're in control of your core. Remember, when your legs are wider, it's harder for you to feel your pelvic floor. And if you're really struggling, what do you do? Take your feet in narrower, or put something between your knees. Absolutely fine to adjust and use a different position. So once you've got all that right, you can feel your core muscles working, you're moving side to side, you'll feel your heart rate starts to go up. Once you've mastered that positioning, you've got that pull, you start to move the arms. So I'm going to start to push and pull with my arms. But I'm still keeping my arms fairly close to my body as I'm doing this at the moment. Now if I want to make it harder, I'm going to push my arms away from the body. So I'm going to pull up. Sorry, I'm going to push up, that's a pushing action. And I'm really pulling with my right arm now as well as pushing with my left. I can also go down. Yeah, so I can put it down. And then if we can have a front view again now, so we can go back to the main camera, you can see what my body's doing. So if I stay upright, yep, I'm keeping my back up tall. If I push down, my butt has to go back behind me so that my back stays nice and long. And if I go up, yep, again, I'm keeping everything nicely aligned, and that's going to be much more challenging on my core as I do that movement. Now, there is one more way you can go with this, and that is to turn, to turn your torso. So now I'm pushing across my body and turning. Now, that's really quite hard and quite tough on the waist muscles. So that's only one to do if you really feel you've mastered this move. But can you see how you can really develop this? Let's go back through the stages again. So start off feet narrow, core connected, just a little pull on the band. That's how you can start this off. Yep, so you're using your pelvic floor, you're lifting through your center, gentle pull across, really controlling your movement. We can then go wider, keep the arms close, working in a wider position, and I'm going to up my movement. Go a little bit bigger on it. Yep, that will make your heart rate come up a bit more. Then we can start to push and pull the arms, but still keeping them fairly close to the body. We can then change the arms. And do you know what? It's really good to play around with it. You can do one up, you can do one down. Yep. And then you can start to move and rotate a little bit more. Yep. And move your upper body a little bit more independently from your lower body. So you're starting to add rotation as well as side-to-side movement into your exercise. So there's lots of places you can go with that movement. It's a lovely move to do. You can feel my heart rate's gone up, my breathing's gone up as I've done that. And what's so great about it is it's about you finding your flow during that movement. So play around with it, make it feel good to you, but always, always, always listen to your body. If you can't feel your core muscles, bring your feet in, slow it down as well, and just make sure that you are in control.